What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's Matt from Oz Lego Collections. So in today's video, we are going to be checking out part one of my Battle on Hoth mock that I'm currently working on. Now, I'm really excited to share this with you guys because this project has been on the back burner for a really long time, and I'm happy that I've finally started working on it. Now, before we do dive into the build a little more in depth, I just wanted to show you the overall scale and size of the build. Now, due to the limited amount of space I have on my shelving, it is only sitting on 4 32 by 32 stud base plates in length and a base plate and a half in depth. Now, overall scale, I am quite happy with it. I'm really happy with the things that I wanted to add in the build I've been able to include. I've had to improvise in certain areas just due to the lack of space that I do have to work with. But like I said, I'm really happy with how it is turning out. Now, before we do continue with the video, please remember to hit that subscribe button down below and turn all your notifications on. Give this video a big thumbs up if you like it, and please leave a comment in the comment sections below and let me know what you guys think of my Hoth battle mock so far. Okay, so I thought we'd kick off with this side of the build first, where my Imperial machines and snow troopers, etc. are going. Now, I was initially planning to have two ATs side by side in the build. However, due to the limited amount of space, as I mentioned earlier, and other things I want to add into the build, it was just going to get too crowded. So I decided to mix it up a little bit and add in an AT-ST next to the AT-AT, which I think looks really good and breaks up the build in terms of height and size. So we are going to be lighting both of these up as well in the next video, so I'm really excited to show you that. Now, moving just below the AT, and AT-STs, we have one snow speeder, which is over here, that is going to be looking as if it's been crushed by the AT. And I thought that would look really good, again, to balance out the fact that I have another one that's going to be added right around here, but a little bit higher up, which is obviously out of camera at the moment. So that's going to be flying over the top, going in to attack the AT-ST. So I'm really excited to put that there. Now, we are also going to be lighting this up too. So this is going to look really cool once it's positioned up in the air and lit up, flying in and attacking the Imperial war machine, I'm going to call it. So now I'm going to have a bunch of snow troopers down here on snow speeders, and then I'm going to have a bunch of the troopers just basically running through the snow. Now I'm going to add like footprints, and all this plate is going to be tiled. That's what I'm planning to do. I'd rather have everything looking very smooth and neat rather than having all studs exposed. I am planning to add like little mountains of snow just to create, you know, that look that they're actually in the snow. And I'm planning to do like snow footprints around the AT-ATs and AT-STs. So I think it just makes it look a bit more realistic that they're actually walking in snow. So I think that's going to look really good, and that'll be updated in the next video. So I'm just playing around at the moment with design and how I want to lay out all the snow plates and white 2x2 tiles. So I'm playing around a little bit here with some designs that will be figured out by the next video, so I can't wait to show you that. Now, over to this section of the build, I've started mapping out a little bit where the trench is going to go for the rebels. Now, I was initially going to raise this entire section over here by 2 or 3 bricks high and then create the trench, having it dip down on both sides and then have this whole section raised up. But I just, again, with the limited amount of space, I felt that I could probably get away with just having it straight up on the base plate, and then I can create my trench a little bit, have a bit of a design, or I should say, sort of towards the front, and then I'll have like the snow going up like a hill kind of thing. So that's where I'm kind of at with this work in progress area at the moment. I've been chopping and changing on what I want to do, but I think I've come up with the decision that I'm just going to go with this look. I don't think it looks that bad. I think it looks quite good. So I'm just going to run with it and see how it goes. If I don't like it, I can always change it. Now I'm positioning the cannons, one down here next to the blast doors, and I thought I'd put one up the top over there. Now I also have another one over here on this side, right in front of the shields. Now I do know that there is 4 shields in the movie, and the Assault on Hoth UCS set that came out only has 3. So I am planning to add a 4th one right next to that one, so it actually looks a little bit more realistic like in the movie. Now moving over to the blast doors, I've pretty much kept everything as it came from the Assault on Hoth set. I am going to add some more snow and rock work along the top part of the blast doors just to give it a bit more character. But overall, I'm really happy with how LEGO designed this. So I'm not going to change anything on it too much. Now, one thing I decided to do was motorize the blast doors because I think that just adds a nice touch to the build. And I'll give you a little preview of how that looks. So they open up quite smoothly, and I think that just looks really awesome. So I'm glad I did that. Okay, so moving inside the Hoth base, this is where I've made most of my progress. So one of the things I really wanted to add in the build was Luke Skywalker in the Wampa Cave. Now I know it's a little bit unethical having it in this area because in the Assault on Hoth build, it's attached to the blast doors, which looks really weird. I didn't have any room, unfortunately, to put it outside the base or anywhere towards the front of the build. So this is where I'm improvising a little bit and hoping it turns out to look pretty good. I'm thinking of basically recreating this cave, making it a little bit bigger, sectioning it off and blocking it off completely. So it's basically its own little scene. And that way, when the Wampa is in the cave trying to attack Luke Skywalker, it'll look really cool once I add an LED lightsaber to Luke Skywalker. And like I said, just give it its own little scene. And I think, or I hope, by blocking this whole section off, it won't look as bad. But I guess you can let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I really feel like it's a small scene that I want to add into the build. So by improvising, I think it might work out pretty good in that corner. Now over to the left-hand side, we have another snowspeeder just sitting in the loading dock, waiting to go out to battle. Now I've tried to recreate these loading docks as best as I can, as accurate to the movie, obviously adding my own little touch to it. So I think they came out pretty good. Now I am going to be adding some LEDs all through each of the loading docks because I think it'll just look a lot nicer and more realistic. And above the loading docks is where I plan to do all the different little scenes or stations throughout the Hoth base. Now I am considering creating sort of like little windows just to separate each scene rather than just having it all open all the way around and it kind of looks unfinished. I think it'll look a lot nicer having these little windows I've created. So let me know what you guys think about that. And some of the scenes we'll have is, for example, Princess Leia deliberating the attack on their Hoth base, and then moving over to this area here. I'm actually going to move this section of the sick bay to this area here where Luke Skywalker is getting rejuvenated in the water tank. And then over here, I'm planning to do sort of like a tunnel going in or connecting this area to this area. And above that is where I'm planning to put the ion cannon. Now, I was initially planning to have the ion cannon sort of around this area here on top of the blast doors, but because of its size, and again, I don't have any space to put it, you know, over in this area here, I think I'm just going to again improvise and create like a mountain of snow going through a tunnel and then having the cannon sit on top. So that's what I'm planning to do in the additional progress that I'm going to be making. So let me know what you guys think about that. And I've also decided, or I'm thinking of either adding a tunnel through this area here where Darth Vader and the snowtroopers break in, or I'm planning to maybe do it from this area down below here. I haven't decided that yet, but any feedback would be great. Now, the other loading dock that I've added down here is for the X-Wing. So I thought, again, rather than having two snow speeders or having one of each, it just breaks it up and does look a lot cooler. So I have added the X-Wing in this area here. And then all in this middle section here, I'm just going to add detail and a bunch of hoses and all sorts of things just to try and imitate the movie a little bit. And over this section here behind the blast doors is where I've got the battery pack and the motor to operate the blast doors. So I am going to try and block all this off and add plates all around it, so that way it's all nice and hidden, and obviously try and hide all this Technic motoring and gearing in both these corners, just so it looks a lot neater. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed part 1 of my Battle on Hoth build, and I look forward to showing you part 2, where there'll be more updates, more progress made, and adding all the LEDs in the build, including the AT-AT and the AT-ST. So I'm really excited to show you that. But until then, I hope you all have a great weekend, stay safe, and we'll catch you in the next video. See ya.